It has been one hell of a day in the world of English football. Obviously, we all know what happened with Arsenal at the Molyneux Stadium. But hey, it could be worse. We could be Southampton right now.
Well, yikes. Southampton is, you know what? We can try to make ourselves feel better about that, a little pacifier, but let's be real. Southampton is supposed to get smashed by Manchester United. We're supposed to be Wolves.
Yeah. You want to get real? We're going to get real right after this. I don't even know what to say. And
I don't either.
So yeah. Let's just get into it. And yeah, I don't know. I don't even remember who started with Leno last week. Or I should say Saturday. So do you want to start or do you want me to go?
So I want to go first. I want to go first with Leno. So let's just cut the crap. Let's be real. He's a goalkeeper at a very high level. And I don't care what kind of pressure you're under. You should not be outside of your box with your hands anywhere near the ball. It was a bonehead error. And even though the game might have been seen as lost at that time, now his mistake is going to trickle down and affect our next game. Runnerson will probably play because the new goalkeeper, Ryan, is not available. So, I'm giving Leno a 1, straight up. A 1 for that. That was just so boneheaded. And he does this every once in a while where he reminds me why I'm not always 100% on him, because he has a mental lapse in him. You're not Manuel Neuer. Kick the ball out.
Yeah. He gets a 1 from me. Everything you just said. Fact is, he's got to know where he is. And I don't know what happened there in his brain. He's closer to the touchline than he is his own 18-yard box. So he wasn't even at the edge of the 18-yard box where you could say, he thought he was still in the box, or within, 3 yards of it where he's like, you know what? He just kind of lost himself there for a minute. There's no explanation for this. It's a brain cramp. And you're going to start a kid that likes putting the ball in his own net at this point.
Yeah. He has lettuce hands.
So I did hear that Ryan is going to train this week.
He needs to. We better hope.
Fingers crossed. I'd almost rather take a 70% Matty Ryan than
Runnerson.
Than Runarsson right now. So, but yeah, Leno gets a 1 at this point. It's a 1. Period. It's a 1. When you do this, it's a 1. There's absolutely, in my opinion, no way to say, but he did this. Nope. It's a 1. You get it. It's just silly. It's absolutely bonehead. Silly.
And he had his head, he had his chest, he had his knee, and he had his leg. He had several different areas on his body.
He was trying to give the ball a forearm shiver. What's he even doing?
He had a brain fart, and you can't have brain farts like that at this level. I know it happens. We're trying to
accomplish the things we're trying to accomplish. It has to be all systems go, all cylinders firing.
We were still in the game at that point.
That's the way it is. Yeah. Let's move on. Hector Bellerin. You know what? From what I saw, nothing. Here's first half versus second half. I'm gonna give Bellerin a 6. I didn't see anything in the first half that warranted him getting any more than that. In the second half, it's a tale of two halves. For most of these players, it's a tale of two halves for me. Second half, I didn't think he was terrible, so he didn't do anything to lower his score. I thought we were really on in the first half. We really were. So I'm going to give him a 6. He just didn't do anything spectacular for me, but he also I don't think he shit the bed. So 6.
I'm gonna give Bellerin a 5. There were several times in the first half, one in particular where he got the ball in a very good position right inside the box and hit it with his left foot, and it went all the way to, I think, their right back for a counterattack. And then there was another time where he just kind of crapped the bed with another very simple pass. And then there was even another time where he got in a really good position on the end line where he could have easily just hit it on the ground to Pepe. And he again chose to hit the ball up by his knee, in between his knee and his thigh. He needs to work on his final ball. Period.
Fair.
5.
Fair. Can't wait to hear what you're going to give the next guy. Curious on this one. So David Luiz.
I'm going to give David Luiz a 2. And the reason why is because if you guys go back to the FA Cup final, when Pulisic went into our box and Kieran Tierney backed away, did one of these, and backed away and let Pulisic just score the goal. That's because Kieran Tierney has a brain. He understands that as an Arsenal player, they're looking for any opportunity to give us a red card, send us off with a penalty at the beginning of the game. You have options. His positioning on that particular instance at about halftime, his position is what led to the ripple effect for the red card. So it wasn't like he just happened to be in the box. We were in that position because he fell asleep. And then as soon as you see that hair and that number chasing behind a player and that player goes down in the box, it's a red card. We can go back and forth, but he is an experienced player. I mean, he's the most experienced player on our team. And he's seemingly he gets himself in these positions often. So I'm giving him a 2 because of he had an option. He could have easily just let the guy go, use your brain, and his positional awareness. And a 2, period. Just period. I know I'll get ripped, but he gets a 2.
I'm curious as to why you say get ripped. What do you think? You think you're going to get ripped because you scored him too high? Or you think
no, I think because there's a lot of the fan base that is really wanting to pin this all on the referee, and I understand that. But if you go back to the FA Cup final and watch Kieran Tierney pull out of that tackle, everybody crapped on him at first, but guess what? We end that game with silverware. There are choices. This is the second time that David Luiz has done this, where he had the option to either let the player go, and even though he was just running behind him, let the man go. As soon as they see you, they are going to give you a red. So stop freaking doing that. I know we want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but we don't get the benefit of the doubt at Arsenal. You're no longer at Chelsea, bro. You keep doing the same thing over and over. You get a 2. I don't care. I mean, I'm sticking with that. I won't change. 2. Period.
I mean, you're being kinder to him than I am because he's getting a 1. At the end of the day, and here's the thing. I want to say this. I've watched the play back, slow motion. I've seen incredibly zoomed in shots of this. The punishment is harsh. It's the triple punishment, and it's very, very harsh. But the fact is, he's out of position, which creates the opportunity.
Yep.
And then he's chasing him. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're running.
Let him go. Do this and stop. Let him go.
So at the end of the day, in a situation like this, let Leno try to make the save. Just give it. Just pass him off. And who was it? It was Neves, right?
Was it William Jose or was it Neves? I don't know.
Jose. I don't know who it was, but at any rate, pass him off to Leno. Let Leno try to make the save. And at the end of the day, take your lumps. David Luiz, take your lumps. You were out of position. You got caught. If he scores the goal, he scores. That and hate to say it, it is what it is. But live to fight another day. You get the red. Now you've given up the penalty, and you've taken the red.
And you put us in a position where we now in a game that was completely in our hands, it's no longer in our hands anymore. Once you go down to 10 men, which in reality shouldn't put you in a position where you're completely out of the game. But for Arsenal, it does because we capitulate.
Yeah.
Going down to 10 men doesn't mean going down to 9. It doesn't. But for us, the capitulation just starts. So I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm and people give me a hard time. They're like, "Oh, you make it up on the fly." No shit. I'm making it up on the fly. Like what? You think I did this last night? I sat around before the game started and gave everybody their ratings. Of course I'm doing it on the fly. I have to watch the game first. I'm changing my number because the more I talk about this, I'm talking myself into a higher number. I'm giving him a 3. I think the punishment was harsh. And I think the one for him, I gave him the one based on the punishment. I think the punishment is harsh. I'm going to take that into account. I'm going to give him a 3.
That's why I gave him a 2.
He's out of position on the play. He creates the opportunity by being out of position.
But he still has a choice. He still has a choice
let him go
to let him go.
I think that Arsenal are going to appeal the red card.
And it won't work.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter now because the damage is done.
It is.
I think the punishment was harsh. I'm gonna backtrack on that. I'm gonna give him a 3.
Okay.
Rob Holding, solid.
Solid 5.
Once again. Yeah, I'm gonna go a little higher. I'm gonna give Holding a 6. Just again, solid effort. Again, tale of two halves. You're down one man, and your coach kind of just didn't really. Well, we'll get into Arteta in a minute. Holding for me gets a 6. He didn't do anything wrong, in my opinion, from what I saw. Again, just another rock steady effort from him. Unfortunately, it goes the rating. He probably would have gotten a 7, maybe even an 8 had the second half gone the same way the first half did, most of it. But it comes down because he didn't have an opportunity really to do anything above and beyond what he was supposed to do. So Holding gets a 6 for me.
Let me give Holding a 5. I just think that, him and David Luiz need to talk better. He was right there, out of position as well. They need to talk. So I can't give him a 6. I'm going to give him a 5.
Fair. Cedric.
I'm going to give Cedric a 6, and the reason why is because I think he handled being over there with Traore in the beginning pretty well. He was getting into good positions on the left-hand side. We also have to take into account that he's being played out of position. I know he can play on the left, but it is difficult to play, on your wrong foot the entire game and try to make shift and make things work when it's not a natural position for you. And I thought he also did well considering that Aubameyang didn't really help him when he came in. He kind of just left him for dead. This isn't going to be a beat down on Aubameyang day because I know he's just coming back and he's not going to be the main focus. But once Aubameyang came out there, you really lost a lot of the work that Pepe was doing on the back end, trying to help him with Traore. And it just kind of just went to crap after that. So I'm going to give Cedric a 6.
Yeah, I'm with you on the 6. I like that. Everything you just said. He's on his off foot, on his offside. Tough assignment today against Adama Traore, and late in the second half, you could tell Traore was just pretty much having his way with Cedric at the end of the game. So I'm going to give him a 6. I thought he handled himself really well against a guy that's just he's big, he's strong, and holy Jesus, is he fast? So I give Cedric a lot of credit today for the most part. Negating, Traore's strength and what have you. So, Granit Xhaka. Actually, again, I thought he had a good game.
Xhaka played well.
But then the frustration started to set in, and I was adamant, get him off the pitch. He's doing stupid things. He's going to get us. I'm screaming in my head. He's going to get a second yellow, and he's going to get sent off. And we're going to go down to 9 men. Thankfully, he didn't. He regained his composure. I give Granit Xhaka. It's tough for me to hand out anything above a 6 when you lose, but it's just the way that we lost. Xhaka a 7. I'm going to give Xhaka a 7. I thought he had another class game, with the exception of the second half where the frustration set in. But then, again, like I said, then he kind of caught himself, and he wasn't making the rash challenges. Yeah. So he reeled it back in a little bit. So.
Remember, everybody who's watching this, you have choices. Granit Xhaka had choices, and so did David Luiz. So he chose not to be a clown today, which is great.
Yeah. He started,
but you could tell that he was like, if I mess around,
he reeled it back in. So I'm and the 7 is probably mostly because he reeled it in. He didn't get the second yellow after he got the first. Because after he got the first, I'm like, get him off. Because he's going to try to kill somebody and he's going to get sent off. So I'm giving him a 7.
Yeah, it's hard for me. I only have one person that I'm going to give higher than a 6, or in the 6 range, because we didn't win the game, and it's harsh, but I can't, so
it's tough. No, I get it.
I'm going to give Granit Xhaka a 6.5. And I think that it's really a shame because Granit Xhaka played really well in that first half, and most of the team did. And everything that they did was pretty much for naught because of one horrible mistake at halftime. So, but I do think he played well. I'm very impressed by him. And I think him and Thomas Partey make a great pairing. So 6.5.
Speaking of Thomas Partey, go ahead.
6.5 as well. I think him and Xhaka really controlled that midfield. The Wolves didn't have anything. They didn't create anything. Granit Xhaka and Partey were all over them. They had everything under control. I think, again, we win that game. These are 8.5s, 9s. But because we lose the game, got to give them a 6.5.
I'm doing exactly what you just did. I'm giving him a 7 right along with Xhaka. Infinitely better performance today from Thomas Partey than what we saw on Saturday against. I mean that's the Thomas Partey that we're getting excited about seeing today. I'm going to give him a 7. He was one of the players when we went down a man in the second half, really pushing forward to say, hey, you know what? It's one guy.
We were still in it. We were still in it at 10.
Yep.
We were.
So I'm going to give Partey I'm giving him a 7 right along with Granit Xhaka. Bukayo Saka. Man, oh man. It's just, Kid worked hard today. He had his chances. I'm going to give him a 7. I'm going to give him a 7. He worked his tail off. And again, like Thomas Partey, we go down a man. Even when we went down 2 men, he was still running. He was still trying to make things happen. Obviously, the chances that he had in the first half, you just got to finish those. It's unfortunate, but overall, I think I'm giving him a 7.
Yeah, I'm going to give Saka 6.5. Just, was a part of the group that was really, I really have to say our first half, this was the first half besides the David Luiz situation was the best football that we've played all season. And Saka was really a big part of it. He's really growing into his game. And the only thing I really can say is that if he buries that chance in the first minute of the game and we go up about 2-0, I think the game is completely different. But I can't.
It's absolutely different. Yep. Yeah. It's absolutely different. Look, you're not gonna score all of the shots that you take.
Exactly.
But you're not gonna score if you don't take the shot.
Exactly. So, and he was hungry today. Yeah. So 6.5 for Saka too.
All right. Emile Smith-Rowe.
I'm gonna give Smith-Rowe a 6. I think he was busy. I think he was doing exactly what he was being told to do. He had some, just being Smith-Rowe. I can't be upset with him. He should have been. We'll talk about this more with Arteta, but he should have been the one to be taken off, I believe. He ran out of gas, ran out of steam, but I'll give him a 6.
I'm with you on the 6. You're going to get a shift from him, but he got tired at the end. You could tell he was tired. Legs left him, and look, when you're down 9 men, you're constantly running.
Yeah,
you're down 2 men. When you're down 9 men, he's just running, and legs got tired, and so I'm with you on that. I'm going to give him a 6. Pepe.
I'm giving.
You want to take it, or you want me to?
You go ahead. Go ahead. You go first.
Man, oh man, the goal was, that's a thing of beauty. I could watch that over and over again, and I might just do it tonight because I don't know what else I'm going to watch on TV. But the goal was top shelf. really think he's coming into it now. And all of a sudden, like it on the left, it's funny because last year during the restart, everybody was like, oh, Bukayo Saka, he can't play on the right. And now he's playing on the right. And he's, he's taking that position. That's him. And now Pepe playing on the left. And we're like, he's, doesn't really, what does he really do on the left? He can't really do anything because he's, all he can do is cross. He can't cut back to the middle because he's on his weak foot. Oh, not so fast, my friends, because he scored that goal with his right foot. And because he got the goal, I'm giving him an 8. The dude worked hard. And I don't care, despite the loss, he worked hard. He did everything really I think he could have done to try to win that game for us. I'm giving him an 8. Yeah. Call me crazy. I'm giving him an 8.
Yeah. Not going to go that far, but I do think that we're definitely in a much better place with Pepe. He's coming into his own at the exact right time, and he's asking questions of Arteta and some of the other players that we've nailed down as official starters on that left-hand side. He was dangerous today, and I had him. I think we said this in our preview. I had him against Semedo every time. I knew he was going to have him on toast. I knew he was. Yeah. So I'm going to give Pepe a 7.5.
So he's getting docked a half a point from you because of the result. That's what it is.
Yeah, I can't.
I got you. I'm with you.
You win the game, he's getting a 9.5. Lacazette, I'm going to give him a 5. Just the same as like Holding and Bellerin. I don't think Lacazette did anything necessarily wrong. He was hooked, so he didn't really have a chance to do a lot of things. But while he was out there, he wasn't as instrumental as he usually is. But that being said, that doesn't necessarily mean that he had a bad game. He just wasn't the person doing all the connecting, because Granit Xhaka and Thomas Partey were doing a lot of playmaking through the middle of the field. So we didn't need Laka to do that. Unfortunate to get hooked. 5.
I'm with you on the 5 for Laka, and it's making me feel some kind of way because I want to rate him higher. Yeah. For those that don't know, I have a very, very, very soft spot in my heart for Alexander Lacazette. He scored the first 2 goals that I ever saw the club score live. So he's always going to have a special place in my heart for that. But I'm with you on the 5. A little bit off even in the first half today, even when we had him on their heels. He just a little off. Like, it wasn't bad. It wasn't that he was doing things to negate the attack. Just a little off. So I'm with you on the 5. Subs. So obviously David Luiz goes off right at the stroke of halftime because of the red card. So Arteta makes a change to Gabriel, and he chooses to take Lacazette off. But Gabriel, much better performance than the last one that we saw with him. Nothing special. Did what he could.
Had a game-saving intervention, though. He did have that one really good tackle.
Right. Yeah. So I'm going to give Gabriel a 7. I know it's high. Part of that is because he was so low from the last performance that he had, and the play that you just mentioned. I'm going to give him a 7 and hope that this is a sign of good things to come. Gabriel, to you. I'm sorry, I almost moved on.
I'm going to give him a 6. I think he was solid. He came on, he didn't make any mistakes. He, looked a lot better, like you said, and he had that really good save. So I think a 6 is good for Gabriel for sure.
Yeah. So then Aubameyang comes on for Pepe.
He's going to get my customary NA. Not applicable. Didn't do anything. Non-existent. Was not the person that should have came onto the field. Sorry.
Wow. Fair. Quick to the point. I like it. How long did he play? He was on for a good 20 minutes, wasn't he?
He was on for a while, but I think
he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything.
His inability to affect the game wasn't solely on him, I think he was the wrong person to bring into that game, and I'm going to explain that when we get to Arteta.
Yeah, but I'm actually going to give him a number. I'm going to give him a 4, and I'm giving him the 4 because he really, really, really left Cedric out to dry.
He really did.
trying to defend Traore. So you got to track back better than that. You've got to help that dude that's been on the field, for 70 minutes at that point, and just running around with a dude that just, Adama Traore just runs you ragged. He just runs every fullback he faces. He just runs you ragged, unless your name's Kieran Tierney. But I'm giving him a 4, and that's really the only reason why. Kind of came on, down a man. We're already down a man. He comes on. It is what it is. So, Runarsson.
He had some good little saves in there.
I'm giving him a 7. And I'm giving him a 7 because, again, the last time we saw him, and all of the talk of sending him out on loan, and he comes into coming into an impossible situation. Now you're down 2 men. You're coming in cold. I'm giving him a 7. The kid showed me something today. There's something. He might not have it up here and all up here, but he's got it right here. I'm pointing to my chest, by the way. The heart. Kid showed me some heart today with all the abuse that he's taken. I'm giving him a 7.
I'm not giving him no 7. I'm gonna give him a 6. For them save.
You know what? If I got to put myself in a good mood, I got to try to I got to try to be positive here, because you got to laugh to keep from crying sometimes.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You get to go first. Let's go with Arteta, and I'm gonna turn it over to you.
So the thing about Arteta that is really unfortunate that he continuously gets in these situations where he has to deal with players going off. We don't only just give up penalties, we end up down a man, and then we end up down a man again. But the key to this is that, at halftime, we were still very much in this game. And I, quite frankly, still thought that we could have won it because Wolves were poor. They were terrible. So at the beginning of the game, he was getting a 9 for me because of how good we were playing. And I thought he picked the perfect lineup. Now, David Luiz gets sent off. He takes Lacazette off and brings on Gabriel.
Yeah.
So the reason why this doesn't make sense to me is just because you lose your focal point, and now you have a less of an ability to hold the ball up. Lacazette's really good when we're kind of under the cosh at making sure that we get fouls, and he holds up the ball so we can get up the pitch. I thought that was a mistake. I think if anybody should have went off, it should have been ESR. And the reason why I say that is because Emile Smith-Rowe comes off the field. Lacazette comes a little bit deeper, which is important for us because then he can hold up the ball and get fouls for us so we can get up the pitch. So I already automatically then he goes down from 9 to about a 7. Then he takes Pepe off, our danger man, like one of the only, him and Saka were our only saving graces there. There was nobody else that was going to score a goal from our team at that point. He takes Pepe off and brings in Aubameyang. So now you've taken off 2 focal points because Pepe is better than Aubameyang at holding the ball up, and he's also good at getting fouls. So now you've left us with Saka, who's dead, Emile Smith-Rowe, who's dead, and Aubameyang.
Who's not going to get any service.
That's not going to get any service, is not going to be able to do anything for us. At that point, if you wanted to take off Pepe, the only option at that point is Gabriel Martinelli. It's not Aubameyang. Yep. So I have to give Arteta, I have to give him a 4. I think the game was still there to be won. And then with some of his choices, the game became more of like a just kind of here instead of having a plan to move forward. So I have to give him a 4. I think his substitutions really killed the game off.
Yeah, I'm actually not going to be that generous because I agree 110%. I hate that we agree so much. I'm sure people would much rather see us debate and banter a little bit. But I agree wholeheartedly. If you're going to bring Gabriel on at halftime, the natural substitution is Emile Smith-Rowe because Thomas Partey and or Granit Xhaka could both fill into that role. Lacazette could drop a little deeper. And you're still trying to create from with Saka and Pepe. and then to sub Pepe off for Aubameyang and not ESR. I don't understand that either, because now you have no one in the middle. You have no one in the middle to try to score. So if Aubameyang is going to come on, he has to come on for ESR, and he has to fill in the middle. He's getting a 3 for me, but the subs made no sense to me. The substitutions felt like, okay, it's 2-1. Let's just keep it at 2-1. And honestly, I genuinely feel like we could have gotten something out of this, even down 2 men. It just feels like it feels like a kick in the nuts.
Yeah.
To lose this game, to not at least get a point, because I still felt like even when we went down 2 men, there were a few opportunities there, and I thought we were this one's going to stick with us. This one, the only positive you can take out of this is we only lost 2-1 being down 2 men, and full credit to the players for banding together and as we sit here and hand out low numbers ratings wise, but as a team overall to only lose 2-1. That's the positive that you have to take from this. If I'm Arteta in the dressing room after the game, go ahead.
All I was going to say is that as much as I want to hold on to that, I just think that this game really showed me how far away we really are.
Yeah.
Because these are just, I know we want to blame the ref, but we've been here before. We've been here talking about these same things, and we continuously are like, well, it's the ref, it's the rules, it's this, it's not that. It's the fact that we still have the same people making the same mistakes. Well, and we should have been at least 2-0 up.
Yep.
We should have been long gone. We should have been long gone in that game.
We had easily half a dozen glorious opportunities in the first half. We should have been up at halftime 3 or maybe even 4. The halftime score lines, without the David Luiz sending off, the 2 halftime score lines of the Arsenal match and the Manchester United match should have been the same. It should have been 4-0. We should have been up 4-0 at halftime with the chances that we had. That's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
I was just going to, because the last one we have is the ref.
Mm-hmm.
Craig Pawson, go be a garbage man. Seriously, go be a garbage man. You were awful today. You were absolutely bloody awful today. Awful. You were actively trying to stop build-up play from Arsenal, calling fouls that just
didn't even make sense. They didn't even exist.
Craig Pawson, you're awful. Go find another line of work, please. I don't care what you do. Go find something else to do. This isn't for you. This isn't for you, man. I'm sorry. You get a 1 because I don't give out zeros, because I feel like the 0 is the not applicable. You get a 1.
Exactly.
You're awful. You're absolutely awful. Go find another line of work. I hope you get fired. I hope you get fired.
Yeah. I think with this is I really do believe that the referees have a WhatsApp group where they just talk about certain players, and they talk about them so much that they start to make calls based on what they talk about more than what they see.
Reputation.
And it's a shame. David Luiz got a red card today because of stigma. I believe that 110%. This is a reputation red card.
Yep.
And for us being Arsenal, because we never really get the benefit of the doubt, we have to start taking these things into consideration, that there's certain people on our team that just have reputations that just precede them, and it's just unfortunate. But in terms of the ref, I need you guys to get out of that WhatsApp group and start calling things based on what you see, and not based on what you and Mike Dean are saying in that freaking WhatsApp group. That's the reason why Bellerin is called for more foul throws than anybody else, is because they're like, watch this guy. He's always doing this. They called David Luiz for that red card because they saw the curly hair and the number, and they saw somebody fall in the box. I'm going to give the referee a 1, whatever, I guess, because we don't want to give him a 0, but
That's my call. You give him 0 if you want.
That was just absolute crap. You know, it's like a combination of everything. But when we separate and just talk about the referee, that was crap. You were crap the entire game. You shouldn't be refereeing. You need to be sitting at home doing nothing. I don't know. You should be doing something else. You should be a telemarketer, be something else. Get off the field. You're a crap referee. I didn't think anybody could be worse than Mike Dean and Kevin Friend. But my friend, you have surpassed them as one of the worst refs I've ever seen in my whole entire freaking life. And that says a lot. And I'm an Arsenal fan. That's it.
Yeah. All right. That's it. That's all I got. Anything to add? I think we pretty much covered everything. Anything to add?
The one thing that I do want to add, you guys, is don't forget the day after all our games, we always do a post-match show, a live post-match show on this channel. And I am lucky enough to have Dan Potts from Same Old Arsenal and Sophie from Highbury Squad on to talk about the Wolves match. So that'll be tomorrow. And so just check Twitter. You guys know how to find me. It's @Jessinho. And I'll be giving you guys updates and I'll let you guys know when we're going to go live. So keep a lookout for that, you guys. We are going to get into it.
That's awesome. Yep. All I got is please like the video. I don't care. Give it a thumbs down if you don't like it. If you don't agree with us, give it a thumbs down. I don't care. Leave something. Comment. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. If you're not already subscribed, hit that button as well. Hit the bell so you know when something new drops on the channel. As always, appreciate it, Jess. Wish we could do this under better circumstances, but I put the anger behind me, set it aside, and was able to move on and get this done. I actually told Jess I didn't want to do this because I was that angry. But you know what? We're here for you guys. For the viewers, we're here for you. We do this for you. And thank you for watching, being interested in what it is we have to say. Like the video, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys out there.